Sniff my manky ring.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Four Jobbers Podcast. I'm, of course, Ginger Heat. I'm the orange one, and we are three jobbers this week. We have Le Petit Goldberg, that is Jason, who thoroughly enjoyed the Goldberg match, and you're going to hear from him later on why and everything that surrounds the Goldberg controversy this week. And, of course, the buddy from Kirkcuddy, Jordan Deves, all the way from Edinburgh, Scotland. He watched a lot of wrestling this week, like the rest of us. I wonder if you guys did. If you did, let me know what you thought of it as you're going through it, or just drop them down right now. Drop a bunch of things. What was the best show? What was the best match? Let us know. But before we get into that, I have a question for you two jobbers this week. And it is apropos because I have been interviewing indie wrestlers in Canada here. And I'm going to ask you guys, who is your favorite indie wrestler? It can be of all time, if you've seen them. Or it could be maybe a personality that surrounds the indie wrestling world, but it has to be someone who's considered an indie wrestler. That is it. Do either of you have one yet? If you're ready to go. Jason is looking at his fingernails in the camera. For those of you that don't know, we're actually streaming on YouTube now, so you can catch this on YouTube. Otherwise, just listen to it, of course, in your earballs. But Jordan, do you have a favorite indie wrestler?
Do you know, it's a great question.
Indy Hartwell.
Oh.
Does that count?
No.
Well, her name is Indy.
It's a wrestler named Indy.
I mean, it depends how you define indie wrestler, right? I'm going to go for the most obvious definition of indie wrestler, someone who isn't in WWE or AEW. We'll go with that.
That's the idea,
right?
if possible.
Do you know what?
No. That's not indies.
No.
That's
Yeah,
pro.
if they're not in,
Yeah.
if they're not
Okay,
in,
yeah. Good call. Yeah.
I'm going to pick someone who I don't think you'll know, but I've seen him wrestle multiple times here in Scotland.
Oh.
It is an absolute legend of a man known as Andy Wilde. Now, Andy is good friends with a friend of ours that's been on the pod, David Logue.
Yes.
I've had the pleasure of meeting Andy. He's a lovely chap, big, hairy, burly mountain of a man. Please go and look him up. Go and watch some of his matches. I actually got to see Andy wrestle in Edinburgh against what's the boy's name? Currently in TNA, Eric
Joe
Young.
Hendry?
Eric Young. So I watched him wrestle Eric Young a couple of years ago. Phenomenal. He seems like the UK's version of oh God, names are escaping me tonight. I'm not doing very well. No. What's their pal? Ginger in
Heath Slater.
Andy Stott. That's the one.
Shane Hawk.
Shane Hawk. Yeah,
The
I think
professor.
he's the British version of Shane Hawk.
Oh, nice.
He seems to just be an incredibly well-loved and respected wrestler, both in the ring and in the training ring as well. So I think he's set up his own fitness program and stuff like that to help younger guys. Some
Do you know
people
where he's from in Scotland? Do you know where he hails from?
Well, he's billed from Fife, so that's maybe why.
It says birthplace, Kirkcaldy, Fife, Scotland.
I mean, I'll take it.
Aye, mate.
I think he was maybe born somewhere else, but in terms of kayfabe, we'll go with Fife. Yeah, but yeah, I'm going to shout out Andy Wilde.
Why would you bill yourself from Fife if it wasn't the truth?
Because it's it's the kingdom. Why would you not?
I don't know. I wanted you to tell me.
It's the fucking kingdom.
Of all the places in Scotland?
Yeah. Well, that's it. It's the one
You
place
could
that
choose
doesn't get enough of a shout out. And,
Right.
That's
Shout out to my brother, though, Bird. Look what he dropped off. For those of you watching the video version of the podcast, he was at a cottage. He couldn't finish the bottle, so I get to have it. It's like 3/4 full. So Lagavulin,
Wow.
16.
You could finish the bottle and it's 3/4 full. I think I would have just taken it home, surely.
You can't bring it on the plane.
Oh.
He had to fly back to Calgary.
Even within the country and that?
I don't know. Apparently, you can't just bring a giant bottle of liquor on the plane like that. So I guess because he didn't check a bag, right? So it's carry on only. So hey, to the victor goes the spoils.
16-year-old Lagavulin. You'll
I'll
take
take
that.
it. Jason, Le Petit Goldberg. Enough about whiskey. I know you're not a fan. So what about indie wrestling? Who's your favorite?
Like current, I'm not like an indie guy. I don't even know if
Okay.
I can name one.
You've been to a bunch of IWS shows, for example. Is there
Well, yeah,
anyone that kind of
I could
sticks
say
out or
like the
stands
Green
out? Like,
Phantom, or
that's a great answer, though. There's nothing wrong with that. Like,
but
you
like
know.
I like him and I think he's great. But to say he's my favorite, like I don't
Okay.
I don't have a favorite yet. I don't
Okay.
have one.
What do you like about the Green Phantom?
I think he's very polished. He's been doing it for a while, so he's legit in his gimmick. He knows who he is and what he brings to the table, and you could feel that he's not discovering himself. He's a pro like through and through, you know. So I mean, I like that because I'm coming off like I'm a huge mark for WWE. Like I'm a big wrestling guy, but primarily WWE. Now that you're interviewing people, it's getting me into the indies more. I want to go to the shows more, and like getting to know the people gets you invested. Like at first, I really wasn't like open to the indie idea, but now it's really interesting. So I think. Who was that real big jerk at the show that beat up
Good start.
Kristara.
He was awesome.
Yeah. He's really. I think they're actually fighting at the next
Is it
IWS
Benjamin
show.
something?
Not
Hull?
Benjamin Tull. Benjamin
Tull?
Tull's the one that does the.
So it wasn't him.
hand
Whoever that guy
gimmick.
was, he was really good.
Yeah, very, very good. And of course, if you want to listen to my interviews with indie wrestlers, I've been interviewing all kinds of people from the indies. You can catch them on our YouTube at The Four Jobbers or at our Instagram at The Four Jobbers, and you can just see some snippets rather than having to digest the full deal there. So check it out. And this week, though, we have a lot of stuff to cover, so we're going to get right into it because there was a million shows and a million matches and a million things to go over. AEW show, NXT show, WWE Saturday Night main event, and the Evolution 2, or is it 2.0 or is it just 2? Just Evolution 2.
Evolution 2.
All right, and there's a lot of controversy, there's a lot of shit going on, so we want to get into it because the internet wrestling community is barking. Is there anything you guys want to touch on first, or are you feeling anything that's got you by the balls?
Let's talk about the last thing that you mentioned, the IWC, right? We kind of mentioned this in the chat between us, so let's air our dirty laundry. There's been a lot of wrestling this week, and unfortunately that means that it's either the best thing that's ever happened in the world of wrestling or it's the shittest thing that's ever happened on planet Earth. There is no middle ground with the internet wrestling community anymore. We touched on this a little bit, and it's such a shame that people are ruling out either entire matches or entire pay-per-views based on one thing or based on one feeling or one opinion about a wrestler or about a booking decision or whatever. But actually, I reckon I've watched 80%-ish of all the, big wrestling that happened this weekend. Obviously not all of wrestling, but all the big stuff this weekend. And there was stuff that was great. There was stuff that was fine, and there was stuff that was okay, and there was some stuff that was crap. But I'm allowed to have a varied response in terms of my emotions when I'm watching wrestling. It doesn't have to be perfect, and it doesn't have to be shit.
You don't sit there with a smile on your face the whole time going,
And this is, don't get me started on reaction, like people streaming live videos. And I'm just, anyway, I'm not going to get into that. But I'm allowed to feel that, do you know what, that was fine. That was okay. I don't need to comment on it. It was just fine. That's
You have a show, you must comment on it.
Controversial comments.
And I'll comment on it here. But I guess the difference is I'm not going to jump online and immediately be like, I've just watched that match and it didn't go exactly how I wanted it to, so therefore it was shit. Like, it's okay to be like, oh, hey, I watched that match. It was fine. I enjoyed that.
That's a good drop.
Yeah.
Whenever we talk about shit matches, play that drop.
But yeah, I love talking about wrestling. I love watching wrestling. And whenever I see people have an opinion on it, I want to know more. But every time I reach out through any of our platforms and be like, hey, you've said that was shit. Explain why. They just go, it was just awful. And I'm like, okay, cool. Well, thanks for the conversation.
You don't know ball. It's okay, though. But you're allowed to feel that way, of course. Jason, there's been a lot of heat coming. First, there was a lot of heat for Goldberg before the event, and then there seemed to be some praise for him, and then there seemed to be heat again, and it's back and forth, and we have some celebrities or internet or wrestling celebrities weighing in, like Rosenberg and stuff like that. Why don't you bring us through the Goldberg match feelings before, during, and after?
It's impossible to talk about Goldberg correctly anymore, I think. Like, it's just not possible. You say his name and it's a trigger, kind of like the president of the United States currently. I'm not even going to say his name.
What a comparison.
Well, no, I'm not saying he is that, but if you say in wrestling, if you bring up Goldberg, tell me that people have a normal conversation. Never.
No. Very polarizing.
And I'll admit, I don't even know how my fandom really started. I've always been a fan of Goldberg, but I think as the hate grew so big, I worked myself into a shoot defending him, and now I'm really a fan and I'm invested, and it feels good. It's nice to get riled up a little bit, like in a friendly banter kind of way, and be emotionally invested in wrestling and wrestlers' careers, which I come in and out with that. But I was very excited for this match, for Goldberg's final match, like for a Saturday night main event, which sucks. And going into this, a lot of the stuff I saw was people saying, why is it on Saturday night main event? It's his last match. He didn't want more. And then they have the match. He gets cut off with his speech. And yes, I understand it's NBC network TV. It just gets cut off, but still, couldn't you maybe, you knew that. They know this better than anyone. So maybe you could have planned a bit better. So he got cut off. And people were defending him in a way. They were saying, "Oh, that was kind of weird. Like, why did they cut him off?" Da 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 da. And I mean, I think you should have waited a little bit until he talked about the match. Like, he was on there next day with Ariel Helwani, who I think he is somewhat friends with, or it seemed like they're pretty friendly. I watched the whole interview, by the way. I watched the entire interview instead of just looking at everything online. So he gets on right away, and he says a bunch of stuff, a lot of stuff that was headlined and clickbait and rage bait and all that. And now everyone's mad at him again because he agreed that it was bad that he got cut off. He agreed that it should have been on a PLE, and now people are mad, and he's not grateful enough. Whether you like Goldberg or not, he's an absolute massive legend. He's one of the biggest draws in the history of wrestling. I saw someone saying his 15 minutes of fame went on too long. And I asked the guy, do you know what 15 minutes of fame is? It's not someone that dominated the late 90s, came back in the early 2000s, came back in the 2010s, came back in the 2020s. Like, that's not 15 minutes of fame. So it was fun to delve into the insanity and get down in the trenches and do what I don't normally want to do. And it's just annoying. Like, I like Peter Rosenberg. I got nothing bad to say about him. He's been doing this his whole life. He's a legend in radio and media in general. But I feel like he didn't watch the whole interview. First of all, he's on vacation, so I don't think he sat there for 40 minutes watching the interview. He just saw. It's just like seeing it in real time.
Didn't he even say like, "Oh, my girlfriend is I have to do
he
this really
said,
quickly."
Well, no, his wife.
Get mad.
Congratulations, they're married and they have congratulations on the baby. But there's no way he sat there and watched the whole thing. But it's not even his fault, because watching it in real time, I watched this Goldberg interview and I'm like, okay, he was critical. He started off by just saying all complimentary things, all the crap that he's supposed to say, and then Ariel, you know how Ariel is, he likes to get answers out of people, he likes to dig and
He's the GOAT, man.
He dug it out of him, and he asked him all these questions, and Goldberg was honest about how he felt, and now he's paying for it and everyone's freaking out.
Was it the way he said it? Is that why? Did he come across as smug?
I don't think it did if you watch the whole thing, but watching it in real time, the reactions, all these news networks for wrestling, which most of them are just spoiler. It's like, imagine if you have Game of Thrones reporting on Game of Thrones. Oh, this character's gonna die tonight. Whoa, it's crazy. It's like, why do we need
stupid.
that? They're just so annoying. And they posted because Goldberg did say pissed. He was just like, yeah, I'm kind of pissed about how it went. Like, he said it like that, and they're like, Goldberg pissed about the final match, and that's the main headline, and everyone runs with it. And all the comments underneath from people that didn't watch it, and they're like, this guy's a loser, he's ungrateful. I'm like, man,
ungrateful people.
Never try.
So
don't try and appease big groups of people, because they'll turn on you in a second. So do what's best for you. And he was being honest with what he wanted. He said he couldn't disclose everything in a couple weeks. I don't know if he has an NDA or something. So there's a lot of stuff we don't know. This guy's 58 years old. He trained for 5 to 6 months to get in the best shape he could for this moment. He flew in over 100 people to watch it. We don't know what happened truly yet, and everyone's freaking out. It's just so annoying. And apparently the chops. Remember when he laughed at when he got chopped by Gunther? Apparently that wasn't supposed to happen. He said that was just a knee-jerk reaction. He even apologized for doing that. But to me, that was a great moment in the match.
Great moment.
Because people wanted him to walk into this match like an old man. It's Goldberg. It's kayfabe. Goldberg is a monster. Him laughing off the chops is something he would do. Like when the Undertaker was having matches at the end of his career, is he supposed to fight like an elderly man, or is he supposed to fight like the Undertaker? Like it's in the universe of kayfabe, the character Goldberg. You want a Goldberg match, like. I don't know. There's too much to say. I'm just rambling on here.
No, that's
because
good. Keep it
it's
going.
been absolutely ridiculous, and it's just going back and forth with these people is such a waste. Because, like Jordan said, you calmly say like, "Oh, I'm sorry you feel that way. Like, do you have an example, or can you explain yourself?" And no one can, because it's all just stupid emotions. Everyone's just trying to get a quick opinion out there and get attention. And a lot of these wrestling news sites suck. Not all of them, but a lot of them, they suck, and they're losers, and they just like report stuff that's going to be reported anyways from someone else, someone better, and they try and get it out quick. They try and rage bait. They give us spoilers. It's like the Jelly Roll thing. Like they're all like, Jelly Roll's going to be in some SummerSlam match. I'm like, cool. I would have found out myself, but thanks for telling me before anything happened. Like, why do we need
had
that?
An opinion on it before we had a segment. There was nothing announced. There was nothing, and
there was nothing there. He was in there, like, so then I knew it was going to happen. So like, tell me, what is the purpose of you for ruining it? Why do you need to report it before it happens? I don't understand. Someone help me understand that. Like, I don't want to know. Just shut up and delete your account if that's all you're going to do.
No other TV show in the history of TV
show, exactly.
Has that. There's like, if you use Game of Thrones as the example, right? I was late to the Game of Thrones party, to be fair, but when it was out, I wasn't constantly bombarded with, messages on Twitter or Instagram like, oh, popular character son dies in the next episode, click here to find out who. That didn't happen. Like, so why does it happen so much with wrestling?
Because wrestling is very unique. It is a TV show, but it's also an athletic, like, competition sort of, or like,
I think about the chops. There's two things I want to say on it. The firing back at the IWC, I think I can now see why people can't keep up the niceties, because over time, if you're constantly dealing with these people, or constantly dealing with these accounts, eventually you start firing back without the politeness of, oh, I'm very sorry you feel that way, but I thought this. I never
insult though.
I know.
I don't want to result to insults or anything.
No, we're not Sean Ross Sapp, of course, but I do think
I'm gonna come to your town and say it to my face. Okay, SRS.
Yo, he's gonna fight him in real life. Yeah, right.
No, he's not.
This is so funny, but I think the chops part was a little bit weird, because he said, oh, I was expecting to hurt more or something, as if that was like Gunther's trying to hurt people. He was sort of talking outside of kayfabe. And I thought it was a testament to Gunther, because they look so good, they sound so good, and if they don't hurt that bad, then that man is a fucking technical genius.
Yeah.
Because that is impressive.
He smashed it.
The idea is not to hurt the other person, and talking to Holden yesterday.
For Goldberg, maybe you're supposed to hurt the other person, right?
Yeah, exactly. Then he likes to wrestle kind of stuff.
Depending on who you're talking to,
yeah. Definitely not Brett. So that's sort of something that he said, is like, chops can, like, if you can't throw a good punch, sometimes a lot of people will throw chops. But a lot of people in wrestling will get upset if you chop them, because it does hurt. And some people don't want to be hurt at all in any way in wrestling. So they don't want to feel that sting or that burn or have those bursts. And so obviously the wrestlers that I've talked to, Holden, Green Phantom, guys like that, Frank Milano, all these guys, Matt Viviani, they don't care. They're like, if you can slap your leg on a super kick, then you got to eat a chop.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
No, like, I'm not going to agree with everything he said in the interview. Like, there was points where, like, he didn't need to say certain things or whatever. But watch the whole thing. Until you watch the whole interview, I don't care what you think.
Context is always
matters.
important. It's always important. What did you think of the actual match? Not the fallout before and after. What did you think of the match?
The actual match, I really enjoyed, and I think most people did. Like, I saw a lot of good feedback, because everyone was expecting him to be blown up, and it's going to be 3 minutes. It's going to be nothing. they told a really good story. They did really well. Goldberg, obviously, his dance partner was Gunther, who's one of the best, if not the best right now. So he had a lot of help in that regard. They didn't try to do too much. I think Gunther really kept him in check and made sure he didn't try to, like, overexert himself and hurt him and Gunther or whatever. They had a couple spots that were memorable, funny spots. The chops was funny, like I said. Him taking off his knee brace, pushing his son, like
That
getting
was so.
some
The
extra...
knee brace thing was so fucking good.
Yeah, and
you're right though. Gunther had the perfect like level of pace through the match.
Yeah, the pace was incredible.
And I think I sat and watched it, and I wish there wasn't ads. Like just
there was only one during the match, at least only one ad break, and it was when he crashed through the barricade outside. So he needed some time.
I wish there was just I could watch all of it as if I was there. It was. And I don't know for you guys, but I missed all the entrances. I didn't get any entrance on my feed.
I saw. You said you didn't see it. They showed the entrances.
When I watched it, I got no entrances. I literally was watching. It was advert, and then suddenly, boom, they were in the ring.
You didn't see Goldberg come into the ring?
No.
Okay,
well,
that's a massive.
He
that's
had
his whole thing. That's the most important part of Goldberg.
I don't remember. I'm sorry if I got his name wrong. I think it's Doug Dillinger. He goes way back with Goldberg. And he was the one that knocked on the door in like one of his first matches, like knocked. And he did it in this match too. And he had Norman Smiley, a DDP was there. He had a lot of people around him.
Charles Robinson couldn't be there because his rib is cracked.
Oh, he was there, and he can cherish that cracked rib forever
for sure.
But and he reffed the match that he beat in the Georgia Dome where he beat Hulk Hogan. So there was a lot of cool callbacks. The entrance he looked incredible, and that's what you want mostly from Goldberg.
When I think about all those little things that add up, it actually adds up to an incredible performance, not just from Goldberg, not just from Gunther, but from WWE. Like, I actually think what they did as a send-off or a retirement match for Goldberg is perfect. It's just a bit of a shame that it was not on a pay-per-view. I do agree with that because it immediately takes a little bit of the hype out of it. But I do also understand you want to do that in Georgia, right?
Yeah,
and if that's where it fits, that's where it fits.
But like the worst commercial break to me was right when the match ends. They don't say anything and they went right to commercial. They come back. He's like starting his speech and then they cut it off in 20 seconds. Obviously, I don't know. I somewhat enjoyed it, but I do agree it should have been on a PLE, and it should have been given the time it deserves. Maybe a little bit more build too.
I mean, it was smart to put it on that because, like we've said, we've been so disappointed with Saturday night's main event that we were actually going to skip it, especially with all the wrestling that was going on this weekend. There was a chance that was going to be the one that I'm like, nah, I can't watch it. But instead, I ended up skipping most of AEW because of that, and I ended up tuning in fully to Saturday night's main event, and only catching the highlights, the important matches for AEW All In. So it was a smart marketing move because otherwise, I was not watching that one.
I just think there's a lot we don't know because Goldberg obviously planned for this like 5 to 6 months training. He probably had a lot of discussions about what he wanted and what they would actually do for him. And maybe there's more to come out, and who knows what kind of what went on behind the scenes. We don't know.
No, that's fair. That is
new
fair.
Coca-Cola's got Star Wars on it. Is there a new movie coming out?
Oh, I bloody hope not. Well, why don't we talk about AEW, Brad? You mentioned it. You guys managed to catch much from the 19-hour pay-per-view that they had all in Texas. No, it was
6 hours.
6 hours all.
6 hours. Whew.
Yeah, 6 hours. It's
a really big show.
I tried to watch as much of it as I could. I didn't watch it in sequence. I kind of flowed through bits and skipped massive parts of it and whatnot. But two matches that definitely stuck out are, of course, for their two main titles. Mercedes Moné, unfortunately, Jason losing, and Toni Storm retaining her title. However, Moxley does lose his title to Hangman Adam Page in the most ridiculous match I've ever seen in my life. It was absolutely mental. I can't remember which one of us put the bet on who was going to, what the time was for Moxley bleeding, but it was a grand total of about 13 seconds. So there you go.
And it was Spartan out. It was
going.
It was
they've just
shot boink, boink.
They've just posted a slow-mo video of him jabbing him with a fork, and every
No
time that
way.
you see his hand hit his head, when he pulls his hand away, you just see. Look, it's actually insane. But do you know what? I that match was great, and there was some. It felt very much like the end of a era, an end of a story, because you had Bryan Danielson coming back to exact his revenge. You had Will Ospreay coming out, and all these other guys getting involved to try and stop the Death Riders. Is that Death Riders?
Yeah,
that's what
It
they're
was
called.
kind of like WrestleMania-ish.
Kind of. I guess All In is maybe their WrestleMania, right? So we had a lot of moments that
That's been done
happened
so many times with factions and things like that. And
100%.
It's a
And
very,
do you know what? It was fine. But actually, the
it was
match
good. It was entertaining.
it was entertaining. It's not my style. Like
Mhm,
the
same.
whole blood and nails and glass and hanging people through chains and all that kind of stuff. It's not for me. I think I understand why it's exciting, but it's not my kind of thing.
Kudos
But
to Moxley, for sure. I want to give him huge
100%.
praise. This whole fucking thing, this whole run has been amazing because of him.
Do you know what I loved more than anything? And I thought this was such a good little touch. When Hangman eventually opens the briefcase. Obviously, the briefcase has been locked and shut since he got the title. Moxley won the title. When he manages to open it and he takes the title out, it's still got what's his name? Bryan Danielson's plates on it.
True. That's
So it
such a
still had
touch.
them. Yeah. So it still had his little side plates on it, which again just adds so much for me anyway in terms of story. It's like he took it, put it in the briefcase and locked it, and he's never opened it since.
Yeah.
And they just proved that by him opening it, and they're still there.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for this kind of new era. It feels like with AEW, particularly in that scene. I want to see what Hangman can do with it. I hope it's not just going to be another Moxley-esque. Hey, there's going to be lots of blood and lots of nails. Let's see something different. I want a mix of different genres from the kind of flag bearer of AEW, and it looks like we're going to get Hangman MJF at some point relatively soon. So
That's
we'll see how that goes.
crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
Crazy.
if you get Hurt Syndicate with all the gold over there, that could be very fun to watch. But I am going to say the best match that I've watched out of All In was definitely Mercedes Moné and
Really?
Tony Storm. 100%. 100%.
Wow.
It's, again, probably because it's more my style. But even if you don't want to watch the whole match, the AEW put up a 5-minute highlights kind of package of it, and
On
it's,
YouTube?
Yeah, on YouTube. It's absolutely ridiculous how even from that you get such a good feel of the match. It's back and forth and back and forth, and there's finisher, but not like it's not the same finisher. You know when you're watching something, one of these kind of matches, and it's like, oh, they've done that finisher, oh, they've done it again, oh, and again, oh, and again, and guess what? They've done it again. This was like move after move that it felt like it was escalating, and every time this didn't kill them last time, so I'm going to have to do this because that will obviously kill them. Oh, it didn't kill them. I'm going to have to do this instead, and it just builds and builds and builds, and it is such a great story. I can't say enough how good Tony Storm is at making me excited about a match, and I don't like Mercedes Moné, but I watched that thinking, my God, she looks so good, and I was gutted when she didn't win. I was gutted because I felt like this made the most sense.
It's true.
But there's obviously so much more that they want to do with Tony in that division, and as long as they want to leave it on her, there are going to be other talents that come through that she just makes look incredible. So for AEW, that was their match of the night. For me anyway, and I've not watched everything, I definitely don't think I need to watch that Costco Boom Cookie Guy's match. I don't know what he's up to.
Costco Boom Cookie Guy.
I don't know who he is.
Give me 3 Costcos.
He's not a thing over here, so I'm not going to watch that. But I definitely know it's not going to have beaten Mercedes Moné and Tony Storm. So shout out to them.
Jason, looked like you're going to say something. Did you get to see any of that one, or?
No.
Or just thoughts on the result?
I mean, it makes sense. Like initially, I thought they're gonna have Mercedes win just to not like disrupt her undefeated streak. But obviously, Toni Storm is probably the biggest star they have in the company right now. So they made the right choice. You know, Mercedes is now not carrying that title of undefeated, and she can go down different routes and lose and win and do all sorts of different things. I think she, like, props to her. I know she was super cringy when she started, but she's been keeping at it, and I think she's more believable now. I think she understands what the character is, and she's doing great work. You know, she's never had trouble in the ring, so I think it's coming together, and it's great.
Yeah, definitely enjoyed it. As someone who is a big fan of both, it was just like, you know, a feast. It was just a wrestling feast. It's the two best in that company, other than MJF, who is, you know, doing some incredible stuff.
He's simmering.
Yeah, he's been helping that team and faction so much, though, and made it so interesting and elevated it. Especially with, you know, the wrestlers in that faction aren't great talkers, as we know. So having him in there as an all-around 10 out of 10 wrestler.
MVP's okay.
MVP.
But
MVP's a good talker, but he's not a wrestler right now.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? He's just their manager. So having him that can do everything and speak on their behalf is pretty great. And, of course, the smooch in that match, I mean, I'm sure that's going to be replayed for years to come. So AEW knows what they're doing.
The smooch in the Hangman Moxley match, yeah?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah,
for sure.
Just checking.
It's my wallpaper.
Nice.
I don't know if there's anything else in AEW you wanted to talk about, Jason. I mean, one thing that we talked about on the weekend was part of not watching it is the difficulty it is to access it.
Yeah,
it still has to be
the main
bought,
reason why I won't watch it.
Right? It's expensive. You have to buy it, which isn't the end of the world, but it still is something in the way of watching. All the WWE stuff we watch is already included in what we already subscribe to, so it made it a lot easier to access it.
But how was the Okada Omega match?
Again, another classic.
30 minutes.
Here's a spot. There's a nut. Super kit. Doing that. Here's the thing. Dun, da, da, dee, 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 bum, ba, ba. Just, it's just that is
beautiful choreography, beautifully wrestled.
Honestly, it's like the Mona Lisa of wrestling. It's absolutely stunning.
The smoothness,
but I get really bored with it
from like a technical aspect. It's like perfect, but
yeah, exactly. It was
unbelievable.
The same as,
acting wise,
God,
takes me out of it a bit.
Who were Young Bucks up against again?
The Young Bucks were, of course, up against
Osprey and Swerve.
Yeah.
So it's exactly the same as that. It literally, I feel like I could take. Well, there you go.
25 minutes.
That has explained my problem with the Young Bucks. I could literally name you anyone. It was Young Bucks versus Jason and my gran, because the match would be exactly the same. It doesn't matter who the opponents are. It's always the same shit.
Well, you think they're going to lose their EVP? Like, what kind of stipulation is that?
Well, it's not so much that. It's just the flow of their matches. And Kenny, to this point, is the same. I think it's flip, kick, miss, kick, another flip, pin, high rope, no set. And I'm just like, hang on a minute. It's just been one bump, 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 bump for the entire match, and nothing's happened. Like, no one looks like they're actually hurt. No one looks like they're about to lose. No one looks like they're about to get pinned. So why do I believe what's going on? And then suddenly someone wins. I'm like, nah, it's not for me.
Not for me.
I can watch it, and I do think it's beautiful to watch. And the fact that it's almost like figure skating. The fact that these people can do that, I'm like, that's impressive as hell. And I feel like you must have practiced this. But typically they've not, right? But then it takes the realism out for me if we see that kind of thing. And it's something that someone like Jey Uso in his title run is it's kind of getting like that. It's been, it'd been choreographed too much for me. But do you know what? Some folk love it, and they say, "Oh, hey, I'm going to put a 5-star on that match." Okay, you can do that. That's fine. I'll watch the two scrappy dudes in the back fighting, and it looks a bit messy, and it didn't really work that well. But you know what? That was better. So
on this note that we're kind of getting down, Jason and I touched on a little bit on the weekend. Seth Rollins, of course, was injured, and it's come up a lot that Seth Rollins is the best technical wrestler in the WWE. Some people say he's the best technical wrestler in the world. Nothing to do with his injury. That's not why I brought it up. It's just unfortunate that happened. There's a couple things I want to go from this is, who do you think is the best technical wrestler or your favorite technical wrestler out there right now? Jason, we talked about on the weekend, so maybe you have an answer ready to go. But Jordan, you were licking your lips. Look like you got one on the tip of your tongue too.
No, I've
Well,
got whiskey.
When you say technical wrestler, does that mean the ability
Yeah.
to do wrestling moves, or
Can you
Yeah.
define
selling
that for
part
me?
of it? Yeah.
Oh, good point. Because what do people mean when they say he's the best technical wrestler? To me,
I think he does
I
moves
picture
really smoothly.
smoothness of the moves, the ability of the moves, like just the wrestling itself.
So it's funny because that's not what I think. When I hear technical wrestler,
Yeah.
I immediately leap to like Dean Malenko. Like,
But he's
the-
considered a great technical wrestler.
Oh, 100%. But I'm not thinking about necessarily going from move to move. It's the ability to manipulate someone else's body and, flip. Okay, you're in that position. No worries. Watch this. Flip, do this. And then, now I've got you, you dick. Like, it's the ability. Lance Storm, a great technical wrestler.
Bret the Hitman Hart. You can go back to that one because he had all of it. The smoothness, the ability
Well, if you ask Google AI, emphasis on holds and submissions, strategic
Google AI
approach.
specifically. Why Google AI?
Well, because when you
Good
just
googly eyes.
when you Google stuff now, the AI tells you first.
Gonna ask Grok.
The
AI.
AI.
Grok is like a little anime girl now. That's hilarious.
Oh, it's true. Ricky Berg was having sex with her or something on his stream.
Brilliant.
And Elon Musk liked his tweet.
There's a lot of wrestling psychology and built in, like targeting limbs, submissions, techniques, grapples,
Natalia.
holds. Well, she's a
So-
really good technical wrestler. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The boat.
Great. If I think of someone, when I think technical wrestler, who do I think is the best whatever?
No, just out there right now.
Because Chad Gable is really
Chad
good.
Gable.
That's a
Yeah.
great shout. Chad Gable arguably is the best technical wrestler on the roster. Sure, you could do that one.
Gunther.
Gunther, that was
Gunther.
my choice. Yeah, I think he is arguably. I mean, I usually go with Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens as my defaults because I think they're just unbelievable technicians. Their ability and their smoothness and their ability to be safe with other wrestlers. They may hurt themselves, but the other person doesn't get hurt.
Yeah, that's true.
No, but Seth is definitely up there. Like, if not
Sure.
the best.
You
so.
could argue it for him. It's just a lot of the time he is the one that people will say, no, it's him. And I have no problem with that. I was just curious what you guys would think about the other ones, which while you're thinking about it, Jordan, it brings me to my next question. So we'll shoot to Jason really quick. How do you book this now going forward? How do you book Seth Rollins' team, the Paul Heyman team, without Seth Rollins? He will come back at some point, I'm sure, and can do stuff on the mic, even if he's hurt. But you're in the driver's seat right now. You're in the booker's box. How are you doing this going forward with those boys?
Braun. More Braun.
Just more Braun? What about the big
Full
man?
Braun. I don't know. He could be a backup. I don't care. Braun all the way.
Backup?
Yeah.
What I would do, and Jason's going to shit on this, I feel, but what I would
what he
do, I'm exactly the same. Braun wins the title at some point.
Wins the title. Wow.
Braun wins the
Before
title.
Seth gets back.
100%. Braun wins the title before Seth gets back.
Seth cashes in on him.
Holds it for a little bit. No. You're absolutely right. That's exactly where I'm going with this. But he doesn't cash in on him unawares. He says to him, "Hey, this is happening because I'm the leader. Here's my thing. Lie down for me."
Whoa.
And I want to see Braun in that moment of, I'm conflicted. Do I do this because he's like the main guy and I'm like the stooge or whatever? And I want him to do it. I would love him to actually just take a pin, lose the title so that Seth gets it again, so that we can then get another few months of Braun just being under the thumb of Seth when we know that actually he's the man. And then suddenly when he starts giving it the whole head thing again and he goes mental, he breaks and he just kills Seth and wins his title back. For me, I can't tell. Oh, is that a thumbs up from Jason?
Well, no, because that's like, it sounds like Batista that moment. You know?
Ah, right, yeah. True. But I think if he was to win and then have Seth cash in on him, would be a bit shit. But if it's more like a, hey, I'm in charge, lie down, And he's like,
There's so much
"Oh,
story
I
in that
don't know what to
tension in that
do."
moment. You don't know what they're going to
But
do.
then
You don't
you've
know where they
got-
go
and
from
it's
here.
not just that moment; it's months after it where
Yes.
he's just like, "Oh, I don't know what."
And you can't just jump him because Bronson Reed is there. And as much as we're
100%.
discounting Bronson Reed right now, he is not to be discounted. This man is main event level. We have seen him put on some absolutely incredible matches before he was hurt, and he's being built back up slowly. But this man is capable. The character is capable, and he belongs in that upper echelon. So it's very interesting that, hey, you want to take that title back from Seth? Bronson Reed is standing right there. He's not just going to let you do that if he's loyal to Seth. I don't know. There's a lot going on.
I would love to see something like that happen where we have Braun at the absolute apex of his game as the champ, and then he just gets absolutely cucked the minute that
Oh
Seth
my
comes
God,
back
that's
because he's got that
crazy.
briefcase. Not because I would want that for him, but
No.
for the character and for the story. When he eventually wins that title back off Seth, that would be insane.
That would be so sick.
But what if he wins the title and then we hadn't seen Seth for a long time? His music plays. He comes down with the briefcase, cashes it in right after Braun wins the title, and points and says, "Give it to me," and he lies
Give it
down
to
for
me.
him.
Yeah, fine. That's fine. I'm okay with that.
That's
that also would be
crazy.
fine.
But
Oh
we don't
my
know if
God.
Seth is going to be involved vocally around as a manager. We don't know anything. He did an interview today, actually.
Yeah, and
They
he,
don't
he has
know.
all eyes on WrestleMania. He's like, I
Yeah,
don't
of
know.
course.
We still have to have an MRI after because he had the surgery and everything. I believe went successful. Need the swelling
No,
to
I
go
don't think
down.
so. They don't know what's wrong yet. He said it was too
Oh, okay.
swollen to get a
Oh,
diagnosis.
okay. So he still hasn't done it. He's still waiting for the MRI
Yeah,
to then
yeah.
decide what they're going to do. But all eyes are on WrestleMania season, is what he said, right? So
Yeah,
he's
he's got
coming
a
back
lot of time
before
for that, at
and
least.
yeah, there's lots of time.
Oh, imagine.
Who knows?
Imagine.
But no, for me, I think this is a great time for Braun to get the rub. I know he did really well in the Raw Gauntlet match, but didn't win. But he still was built to
Sick.
look strong.
Looked insane.
He looked insane.
Yeah.
That's what we want from
So
Braun. He's
over,
young.
too.
He's over. He's incredible. So this is
He's so tan.
When catastrophic things
Great
happen.
tan.
You know, it's a very sad thing that happened with Seth, but you
Yeah.
have to make the best of it, and amazing things can come from it. And then Seth can come back and integrate himself back in.
We were talking about that with Holden yesterday because just asking him, things can go wrong in indie matches, right? There's been matches before that weren't supposed to end, but a 3 count will happen. Where we've been seeing in WWE a few times lately, not to the fault of the referee at all, but the referee will scoop the 3 count and then they'll kick out. So it's completely, and he agreed, it's completely on the wrestler to kick out on time. You have to know you can't let that happen. And it makes the ref look insane for scooping it way too early. Or give me a zoomed out camera shot on a pin. You don't have to be zoomed in. But I don't know. There seems to have been a change lately where they're not going to do that 3 count no matter what because they're not going to change the outcome of the match. Where in the indies, sometimes it does happen and you have to move forward, kind of like Chelsea Green getting counted out, but maybe a little less extreme. So interesting stuff. That was that, of course. Let's move into. Is there anything else from Saturday Night's main event that we want to talk about? I don't think so. No.
Let's talk about the main show, the show that of all the shows this weekend.
Let's get into
the
it.
best show
It was
ever.
the best show of the weekend.
Ever.
It was the best show of the weekend. I'll say that.
100%.
It was possibly the best pay-per-view of the year
Wow.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
It could be the best
Yeah.
pay
for
per
WWE. When I first heard that, my initial reaction is, whoa, hold on, because I don't have, how can you say that? You have to go back and reflect and look. You can't just know that.
do you have do these people have a notebook where
A
they're like,
Rolodex in
I
their head?
remember.
There's no way.
7.6.
But I
I
did
can't
go
even
back and
remember
look.
people's names, so I can't remember every match.
It's
or pay-per-view.
possible. There hasn't been a ton of pay-per-views. So it is possible that it is.
It's
yeah.
mad
I would agree
to
with that.
think. For those who are listening or watching, we're talking about Evolution, by the way.
Yes.
Evolution.
Evolution is a mystery. It's not actually. Anyway, what we talking about? Evolution.
Evolution
right.
2.
So the pay-per-view. If you look at the card and you look at the result and you look at how everything kind of went, it's mad to me that before we actually got there, everyone was like, no one's excited for this because the booking's been shit. And I was like, has it though? Before it came around, I kind of thought, yeah, it's not been great, has it? And then it wasn't until I actually watched it on the night and I went, oh, hang on a minute. The first match makes perfect sense. The second match from NXT, again, if you watch NXT, makes perfect sense. It's been building for weeks. the Fatal 4-Way tag, like, yes, there's no story between the teams, but there's been matches on their respective brands that have built this entire.
And for once, interesting tag teams put together.
100%.
Kabuki Warriors being back together. Alexa Bliss and Charlotte was kind of interesting. Like
Yeah.
these are things where normally when you get especially a women's multi-tag team match, it's usually really thrown together. This was actually everything made sense around it, which is cool. Nick, keep going.
Like, I don't need to go through all of it, but yeah, the point being that every match made perfect sense, and I think had been booked. Maybe not perfectly, but it had been booked. It wasn't like it was on the card, and I'm like, why the hell is that there? That seems random.
Why did it end like that? It makes no sense. Everything
all made sense.
Yeah.
So why don't we go through the card? We've not got an awful lot of time, but let's just go through the card match by match. Quick thought, quick reflection on it, and we can go from there. Match number 1, Becky Lynch, I've got it in front of me here, defeats Bayley and Lyra Valkyria to retain her IC title. Jason, what's your thought on that match?
My main recollection of this match was the incredible pin reversal type thing that Becky did to win. I think it was so smooth and really well done. Obviously, the match was, well performed as well. These three know each other really well. They have been going back and forth for a while now. It was good. I don't have a lot to say about it. It continued their feud, and we see what's happening now at SummerSlam. I hope that they can conclude it at SummerSlam. I want to see them fight different people. I'm kind of getting over it now, but
I thought this was
we got
it,
one
to
more.
be honest,
We got
but-
one more of them. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Triple threat matches, if you're going to do them, they need to have a lot of story. And this one had a lot of story, so it worked because the banter and the interactions, and we're dealing with two of the greatest of all time and one who is an up-and-coming star. So this was a hot match. I had a great time.
She hangs with them really well too.
Yeah.
She's
100%.
and it was a great opener. I think a solid opener
yeah.
to the event.
I mean, if this feud is start Lyra with the belt, have this feud, and then she ends at SummerSlam with the belt, I'm okay with that. But I just kind of want it done now. But this match, well worked. Well worked. Second on the card, we had JC Jane with our two wee pals, Fallon Henley and Jasmine Nix, defeating Jordan Grace to retain her NXT title. Realistically, this was just a match to make Blake Monroe, formerly Mariah May, turn a little bit naughty, I guess. Naughty.
Quick turn.
It is a quick turn. Honestly, I've been watching a lot of NXT recently, and this was not too surprising for me, but also because I watched Mariah May in AEW, it wasn't surprising. But
it was surprising that it happened. It's not it was surprising in the moment. It's not surprising that the character or that she would do that
100%.
knowing her, but not knowing anything about this character, it might have been like, what the fuck?
What
She
the
came in,
hell?
she was all sweet
Absolutely.
and Mrs. Nice Lady. And a lot of us were saying that on the podcast over the weeks was, what is this version of this character?
what are we
don't
getting
like
here?
it. It's not working, but be patient.
if this is it, if this is the turn and this is what we're going to get going forward, I'm okay with it. I just need to see that darker side. But what I will say is this does a lot for JC Jane. She did not look weak at all in this. And she's been literally the minute she won that title, I think it was the next week on NXT, a bunch of women were around the ring and they were all saying that she's the most beatable champion in NXT history. And that's a bold, that was written into the story. That's not the IWC saying that. That's written into the story that she's the most beatable champ. And I think she's doing a lot to prove that that's not true. And this is her first big title defense against Jordan Grace, an absolute unit.
Yeah.
So she looked great in the match. So I'm actually pretty excited to see where they go from here with it. Hopefully, she has a little bit of a longer reign that we can just see her, perform against different talent. There's a lot going on in NXT. A lot of women down in NXT that I think deserve the spotlight, and some of them got that spot, and we'll talk about that later in the Battle Royal. But JC Jane, I think, has done wonders for her career in that match alone.
Yeah, everyone was saying she's a transitional champion and she's about to drop it, but I guess not. Or maybe soon. Who knows?
Nah, I hope not. I hope not, man. Next match we had was the Fatal 4-Way. Judgment Day, Raquel and Roxanne defeating Charlotte and Alexa Sol Ruka and Zarya. I'm sure they've got a name. I think it's like
Zaruka or
Zaruka.
Zaruka, yeah.
Zaruka. There we go. And the Kabuki Warriors. Brad, what did you think about this?
I actually want to throw it over to Jason really quick because I want to know what you thought of Sol Ruka because that was your first experience with and Zarya as well. What did you think of those two in their performance?
No, I think at first I said I didn't know who she was, but I think I remember when she did that move. I remember that move that she does. She was
Hard
like
to forget that one.
wasn't that like her third or fourth match of the weekend or the week or something? Like she was doing
third in 48 hours.
Yeah. So I mean, she looked great. Really high energy worker. Everything she does is smooth. I don't have like a ton of things to say about her yet. I need to see more, but I think she didn't look out of place. And as far as the match, I think the right people won because the main story here is the relationship between Raquel and I forget her name. What's her name?
Roxanne
and Raquel. R&R. That is the most important thing because we're building to a huge babyface comeback of Liv at some point. And it's really nice to see Raquel get some words in, get some character development, get to show who she is, and get to do more in the ring. And Roxanne, people love her as well. So it's a really cool dynamic they have, and I hope they keep building on it. That was the most. Also was very important actually, and very interesting about this match is Charlotte Flair went from the most hated woman in the world to the most loved woman for the night that this happened. The crowd was really good the whole night. Like they were really invested.
Good call.
And they really loved Charlotte, or maybe just like the shine of Alexa was coming off a little bit.
It wasn't even like at the start. It kind of like built throughout it. I don't know how it worked, but it was like I was like, what?
Oh,
we're having issues reaching our server. The fuck? Did you get an error on Riverside? No?
Nope.
I did.
Nope. I was in the room the entire time. You two just dropped out.
Really? They gave me this. Unable to connect. Chat support, troubleshoot. Troubleshoot opens up a new window. Chat support brings you to like the homepage or whatever.
Yeah. I was sitting listening to you and you both just fucking died.
Crazy. That's so weird. That's never happened before.
Yeah.
I got kicked too, Jay. It just booted me out. Did it give you a screen that said unable to connect?
Yeah.
Okay, I got the same one.
So did everyone get kicked out?
Not Jordan.
I was sitting in the room and I was like, I thought I'll leave just in case. But then if I leave, it ends the whole thing.
No, good thing you stayed in. So what I was talking about was it was almost getting emotional at that point because Charlotte was getting cheered and you could see how much it meant to her. It was crazy. And it gives me a lot of hope, A, for Charlotte going forward, and B, for the women's tag team division going forward, because this is something I've been harping on for a long time. We now have a whole bunch of legitimate tag teams. Let's start using them. Let's start putting them out there. Let's start giving them time, and let's start building this. Give them story. Maybe Charlotte doesn't need to talk too much, but just put her in more promos with Alexa and have them come out. Whatever it is, there's some magic there.
Yeah. It's kind of weird mother-daughter type thing when they were sitting hugging in the corner. It was kind of weird. But
maybe big sisters, but
yeah, big sisters maybe a little bit better. Yeah,
it's all good.
You know.
But it's just
don't look at my searches.
I think it's just like it's not like when people were upset at Charlotte or booing her or not happy with her or whatever. It's not because she's not good. We all know she's incredible, like maybe the best of all time. But
it's more like booking wise.
Well, she came back lazy. Like she came back that I'm the queen still and no one can touch me, and like nothing was different. But now it feels different. Just adding.
And when she first came back, it was like she wanted people to like her, but she was playing it in a way that's like, please like me. That doesn't work in
and
wrestling.
it was a car wreck with Tiffy, basically. It just didn't. It was a horrible dance partner at the time. Not blaming either one of them.
Going off script and Tiffy couldn't hang with
it didn't work.
It
It was very disjointed, and I'm not going to blame one or the other. It just didn't work. Now she's with Alexa, and it's magic. That's it.
Yeah.
Alexa's magic.
Sure.
What can you say? So, hope for the tag team division. What was next, Jordan?
Next on the card, we had exactly the culprit of Jason's last comment. It was Tiffany Stratton defeating Trish Stratus in the shortest match of the night, 8 minutes 30 seconds.
You can take this one, J Bomber.
Didn't feel like that, but J Bomber, me, okay,
Yeah.
Just
treat you both. J Bomber,
right? This was fine. This was probably for me the lowest point in the night, but it was still
Brad's queen.
a good. Tiffany.
Trishany.
Trishany.
Oh, a fan of both, of course, obviously, but come on, it was the
Tiffany
original.
Stratus and Trish Stratton. Do you know what? It was a good match. It just wasn't super exciting for me. I think Trish looked great.
She did, yeah. She looked good.
For someone, wrestling ability for like, come on, man,
yeah,
come on, crazy.
I'm. It's weird.
If y'all forgot how good she was, okay.
Well, this is the thing. So, like, when I think about Trish in the early 2000s, she was not a great wrestler. She didn't
get the time. She didn't have the opponents either.
True.
Really.
Yeah, I think she was
like her and Lita were
she had to
bangers.
Grow into
athletic.
it.
She's definitely athletic. She's definitely has the
look.
Yeah, definitely. I'm trying to think of a way to say this without sounding like I'm being rude. She has the body for it. Like she has the ability to do these things, you know. And I've always been impressed by that, but I've just never really got to see much of that in the early 2000s. Mm-hmm. And then, you know, she started to build when women's wrestling, particularly in the kind of 2002, 2003, that kind of time. We saw a lot more of it, of course. But every time she comes back and I see her in a match now, I'm just like, my God, you just seem to get better. Like, how are you still this able at your age to do what you're doing? It's incredible. So I'm always impressed by Trish coming back, no matter what kind of match it is that she's in. And I think Tiff did a good job of kind of orchestrating how the flow of that match went for the most part. But again, it just wasn't a super exciting match because the stakes didn't feel high enough. Yeah. Because she 100%. Came out and said, hey, I want to challenge you. Again, still story. So at least we had that, right?
Yep.
But she just came out and went, I want to face you because remember that time we were pals and we tagged for a bit? Yeah, for one match. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, you've got a yoga video together. That's fine. But the stakes weren't high. We knew that Tiffany was going to win. We knew that. It wasn't going to go any other way, really. But do you know what? Entertaining nonetheless. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
No other comments? Yeah. Fantastic. Let's move on to the next match. We have Jade Cargill defeating Naomi in a no-holds-barred. Brad, what did you think of that?
Hey, Bard. How do you feel about that one, Bard?
Hey, Bard.
So, Jade Cargill. Can she do it? Can she go? Can she put on a banger at a PLE? I think she can. This is it. I know she was also working with one of the GOATs, of course, but this was an entertaining match. It surprised me. I was worried going into this one because you never know what you're going to get in one of these, especially with this special guest referee. We were kind of saying, was it necessary? Is it necessary? Is this just thrown in? But it did end up adding something interesting to the match, and I really enjoyed this one. What about you guys?
Yeah, you know, Jade did what she needed to do. She came out, she looked dominant. She proved that there is more than just a 2-minute match and that she can, I don't know, just do something a little bit different from a standard singles match. We haven't really seen much of that from Jade in WWE. So, do you know what? She was good. I think this was exactly what it needed to be to end their feud. Done.
Perfect.
It was a little bit short. I think for me, I think it was like 10 minutes, which isn't bad considering, like, you know, Jade maybe can't go too long. But if we're just gonna look at the story and we're speaking like from a kayfabe perspective, this is a brutal story. This is an insane rivalry. These people, like, they hate each other, you know, and there's a reason for it. And I don't know, like, if it wasn't bad. I enjoyed it. It did what it had to do. You're absolutely right. I guess maybe I wanted to see a little bit more violence, perhaps. Like, there was good spots, there was good moves, but didn't feel
You wanted a fork to the
no,
head
not like
with some squirting blood?
disgusting, gratuitous violence, but just, I don't know, like one of
I
like
think
limping out of the match type thing. Like, they want to kill each
Yeah,
other. Like,
okay,
you
that's
almost
fair.
killed her.
I
fair.
did think that until
The end.
the end of the paper.
I know, but I gotta judge the match in a vacuum. You know?
And then 100%.
Sure.
But it made more sense in context, right?
Yeah.
Diving in just before we get to the main event, we had the Evolution Battle Royal
Mhm.
for a World Championship match. Stephanie Vaquet. No, Stephanie Vaquer wins that. I mean, that was probably pretty expected based on who was in the
I would
match.
say so, yeah.
We had a hard time picking it. We talked about this on the
True.
podcast before the event. We really weren't sure where they were going to go with this. The decision makes sense. It's the best choice in my opinion, probably. I mean, I did think that there was a chance Nikki won as well because she's still wrestling. She's still going forward. But I think this is a fantastic decision. And the match was entertaining. I mean, a Battle Royal usually is, but this one was, you know, it was really good.
There wasn't really anybody other than, I think the first 2 or 3 were immediately thrown over the top within about 5 seconds. So, you know, nothing much to be said about them. That's a shame. But for the most part, I think everybody looked pretty good in the match. I can think of moments where, you know, everyone was kind of involved. What I do think is incredible on a pay-per-view like this, that somebody like Lash Legend from NXT is second to Stephanie Vaquer. Lash, we watched her when she was tagging on SmackDown for a little bit before her partner was released in a few months ago, and she kind of went back down to NXT.
Yep.
She needs to be on the main roster. She's so
good.
She's so good.
But look at the amount of talent that is sitting there and waiting to come up in Jada Parker as well. Like that.
Jada Parker's
she has
ridiculous.
the it factor.
Honestly,
I don't know much about her, but just seeing her little emotes and her attitude,
she can
and
talk.
her,
She's got
everything.
Yeah,
she's on point.
Jason, you need to go and watch her more on NXT. Some of her promo work is so good. She is great, and the crowd love her in NXT. Maybe that's again in a vacuum. Maybe won't translate to the main roster.
I think
but
it will. I think she's one of those. Kalani Jordan. I love Kalani Jordan, but that's what I'm worried about. There's not enough depth of character that Kalani has, but she's still got time. I think she's incredibly talented. I thought she's great. We also had some other people come out. Obviously, there's a few hang-arounds that, you know, it's an interesting dichotomy of like the veterans that were in that match are people that, there's a few of them, we're wondering where they're going to go. The Meechins, the B-Fabs, love them, but what are they going to do with
friend
them?
of the show.
Friend of the show. And then we had a friend of the soup. And then we had a few people like this, you know, the young up-and-comers. So it was a great mix, and I thought it worked really well.
It was a great battle royal.
Like it's something like I would go back and watch again, where there's not a lot of things you would like. This one is actually worth like, hey, I want to. There's so many little moments and things, and we'll remember this one years to come because of who was in it and where they're going to end up one day.
100%. Well, let's talk about the main event. We had Naomi defeating Io Sky and Rhea Ripley, technically in a triple threat, I guess. But most of this match was just Io versus Rhea for the Women's World Championship until that cash-in happened. Kind of a tale of two stories, I guess. We had the match on its own, which arguably, I think I can say, was one of the matches of the year. I'm going to say that, and it could be one of the best women's matches of all time.
I mean,
Ever.
yeah, I guess so. It could be maybe Rhea Ripley's best match ever and Io Sky's best match ever in WWE. It could be.
Yeah.
Like, it
Could be.
I was on the edge of my seat the entire time, so I was already there, and I was not expecting to happen what happened.
I called it out at the beginning. I was like, "There's a chance Naomi cashes in on this," but she's kind of beat up, and then I completely forgot about it. The match is so good that those thoughts are gone.
They got the time. Like, how often do we get to see like two women battle in a match like this for 30 minutes or 28 minutes or whatever it was? And when Naomi's music hit, I obviously
26.
Okay, I mean that's solid. And when her music hit, I obviously don't know Naomi's music well enough yet. It's not really clocking to me, if you know the reference. But so I didn't know it was her. I thought it was like a surprise because everyone's when this kind of pay-per-view comes along, everyone's talking about who's going to come back, who's going to do this, who's going to do that. I thought it was like a surprise or something. Then when I saw Naomi, I'm like, okay. There was a piece of me that was like, all right, this match was a masterpiece. Like it was a masterpiece. So if one of them won decisively, which they never do on WWE, it would just be a locked-in masterpiece match that we can go back and look at forever. So her cashing in definitely doesn't ruin the match. For many people, it elevated it and elevated the moment and where we're going to go from here. But like historically, there's a piece of me that wishes this match was so damn masterful that it just ended decisively without the cash in. Because like Naomi getting the cash in, I think is incredible. She deserves it. I'm happy she did it, but obviously, like a cash in is going to be great. Usually, whenever it happens, if it's the right person and you're happy who's doing it.
Yeah.
But like you guys said, it really caught us off guard. It was a surprise, so it did add to the moment.
Surprise factor. That's rare nowadays.
It's not like a negative or a
really
positive.
is.
It's both were good either way. Either way, it would have been great without it or with it.
I think, do you know that for me, I finished the pay-per-view and I went, wow, that was insane. I can't believe Io Sky and Rhea, that match was and Naomi walks away as the champ. But I wish I'd had a decisive win for Io or Rhea. At least I would know. Oh, but God, that means I need to watch that match again.
Yeah.
And now I'm
That's true.
buzzing about that. There is going to come a time where I get to watch Io versus Rhea singles, not in a triple threat like we're getting at SummerSlam, but I get a singles match between them where still Rhea has never beaten Io one-on-one. And that for me is really exciting because it means that I get to watch what I saw at Evolution again. And I'm down for that. I'm so here for it. So, man, this was a great end to an incredible pay-per-view.
No, I mean, it left you with a
Absolutely.
great taste in your mouth for sure. Like when you have the main event deliver so well, I think if there was any hiccups previously, which there really wasn't, but even if there was, like you have such a great main event, you leave the show feeling so good. It really elevates the whole thing. And they delivered just an incredible event all together.
Yeah.
And it goes to show, like, even if there's criticism of the booking or the way it comes together initially, if everyone knocks it out of the park and we all have a good time and enjoy it, it doesn't matter. So
100%.
Absolutely in agreement, and I'm excited to see where this goes. And I love how she cashed in on this title because there was a lot of thoughts she was going to cash in on Tiffy, right? Especially the Trish and Tiffy match. Like, that's a great time to cash in, and she would be on SmackDown, and she would continue with her storyline on SmackDown. Now
I'm glad she got away from it
and she
because she kind of left it in the past.
I think it's really good. Yeah, she's like, fuck them. I'm moving on. I'm
gone.
I'm
And
gone.
now I'm the champ, yeah.
Like, now what? Like, that's so sick. I love that she completely separated herself, switching brands. Like, that's a great little
But she's
piece of
really
this
locking in with her
pie.
character too. I think there's always like growing pains when you're such a crazy shift in your character. She came really strong with it at first. Proceed with caution. You know, like super. It was very over the top, but now it's like
cheesy.
it's really hitting its stride. Her promos are great. She's locked in, and it is kind of poetic that you have maybe the best women's match on WWE of all time, and she just says, "Nah, give me that title. Forget about them."
Yeah, that's such a good heel move.
Yeah.
I don't care if you had the best women's match of all time.
It's gonna be remembered.
Taking the
I'm
title.
still the
You
champ.
remember me after your performance for 26 minutes.
Yeah.
So good.
Absolutely.
So good. Excited to see where this goes. Is there anything else from the weekend that we missed, guys, that you want to touch on? No. All right, everybody in the Jobberverse, let us know what you thought about these pay-per-views. Do you agree with our takes? Are we out to lunch here, or are we pretty spot on as we usually are? Let us know either way. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Make sure you subscribe and download and do all those things you got to do. I have to remind you, even though I hate doing it, but hey, if you're listening to this and you haven't done it yet, do it. Click the bell, double bang, triple bang, all the things at the Four Jobbers everywhere on social media. I'm Ginger Heat. He's the Body. He's the little Goldberg. And this was the Four Drivers Podcast. We'll see you next week with Hash. That's right, Hash the One. The Little Green Phantom himself will be on the podcast. We'll be shooting the shit, talking about God knows what. And stay tuned for the Holden Albright episode. It's a 2-hour banger, but there's going to be lots of short-form content coming your way for your earballs. We'll see you next freaking week.
And let us know if you can figure out when Goldberg will debut on AEW to get his real last match.
Imagine.
That's crazy. Can you imagine? Oh my God.
Goldberg versus MJF. All right.
AEW.
That would be crazy.
All right.
Nice song, Jason.